Hey, business building warrior. Thanks for hanging out with us for a few minutes on a new episode of Silent Sales Machine Radio, the podcast that talks to successful e commerce warriors from all over the world who have a few things in common. 99.9% of our guests that we interview are people who are succeeding using the ideas from the Proven Amazon course, which is the flagship Amazon seller training course in the world from our vantage point. We've got 2,000 success posts in our free Facebook group. We've got hundreds of guests we've interviewed on this show who are succeeding using those strategies. Now, a great number of the people that we interview on the show are people who are talking about the newer selling strategies. The more advanced stuff we do talk about from time to time, but we really like to encourage new sellers to get going, get rolling, get proof of concept, put some money in the bank, and grow really good businesses with multiple income streams over time. Today's guest is someone who's done that. He's been in e-commerce for quite some time. He's got a great gig that he had up until about COVID when that business fell flat. So he had to go in with both feet, jump in, brought his wife on board. They're doing it as a team now. They have a business that did last year about $500,000 total on in sales using the replens strategies that we teach in the Proven Amazon course. They give you all the details, the types of products they sell, how they find them, how they've grown their team. They've got some virtual assistants in the Philippines. They pay a few dollars per hour who are thrilled to work because the money spends so much better in the Philippines than it does here in the US. You got to multiply the dollars by about eight to do the math, the conversion, so that you pay them $3 in the Philippines. That's like $25 an hour of a job in the US. So you're able to get some really good help helping them online, finding their products, managing their business, and they've taken full advantage of that. He's also a coach on our team. He'll share some of that story about some of the students that he's coached with us. We're very proud of the fact that our coaching program, we talk about it a little bit on today's show, but I'll just let you know as well that every coach on our team, we've got about 60 coaches, is someone who is actively building a successful business right now based on the strategies that we teach in the Proven Amazon course. So if you want some hand holding, we say this is the way to go further, faster. That's what coaching is. You may be able to get there yourself. It may take you significantly more time. You're probably going to make a handful of mistakes along the way. That's okay. You can recover from those mistakes. But if you want to go further, faster, and have someone put kind of guardrails on your business where you don't do anything really silly, make any big mistakes that set you back, that's a lot of what the value of having a great coach is. So give us a call and have a conversation with us about it. You can go to silentjimdotcom/book a call to get on our calendar anytime. We'd love to talk about your business goals and see which of our programs, anything from our free stuff all the way up to our coaching programs, which one might be a good fit for you. Well, as we bring Ed on, and here in just a moment, I'm going to give you another reminder. If you've been listening to our show on a regular basis, you've heard me talk about this a lot, but it's almost here. Our Proven Conference happening May 23rd through 25th of 2024. As I'm recording this episode, we're approaching about 640 to 650 people registered for that event, which is a great crowd, over 40 breakout sessions on all manner of fantastic multiple income stream e-commerce topics. You can enjoy a great keynote speaker. I want you to go watch the video he made for us and posted it on this website. This website I'm about to give you has all details on that event. Join us in Orlando if you can, May 23rd through 25th, 2024. Here's the website. You ready? Three words: theprovenconference.com. Go check it out. Grab your tickets. Come join us. If you can't be there in person, we've got a great live stream option. We're running a sale up until the event starts because the live stream also includes all the breakout session recordings, over 40 sessions. Go check out the list of topics we've got. It's pretty incredible this year. Our best event ever. Be a part of it if you can. Well, let's jump over and meet Mr. Ed Dassey. Again, a great leader, a great coach on our team. He's built a beautiful business with his wife. I can't wait to dive into his story just a little bit with you. You're going to really enjoy this. So, Ed, welcome to the podcast. Good to see you, man.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Appreciate the opportunity.
I do as well. This is probably my favorite part of my job. And as we were talking before we jumped online here, 800 plus, and it hasn't gotten old yet with the number of episodes we've done. You think it would get mundane, but man, I love this part of my job. And I can't wait to hear your story. Let's jump into it.
Well, thanks for the opportunity. I kind of discovered e-commerce back in 2016. maybe even 2015. I was in the computer industry. I've sold computers, I fixed
Yeah.
computers, and it felt like a kind of easy kind of transition. But back in 2016, when we started, we also had another business, my wife and I, and I was kind of doing this part time. So I can tell you how to do Amazon business completely incorrectly. But we started this, or I started this, and took some classes. Was part of another organization to educate me, and I did it very part time. I guess I did it very sporadically. I would send some products into Amazon. I'd sell them, start over. I'd go from having some inventory, dropping back down to nothing. And I did that over and over and over for about 3.5 years.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And then I decided to get serious when my wife asked me this one little question. She said, "Hey Ed, is this Amazon business you got? Is this a business or a hobby? Because this little business you have is costing us a
Uh,
lot of money and we're not making much out of it. So it seems kind of like a hobby." And then that's when everything changed. I got really serious. And this was in the middle of 2019.
okay. So
So,
pre-COVID, your wife
correct.
kind of challenged you a little bit. It's like, hey, I see you kind of moving stuff around over there, but
Mhm.
the numbers aren't adding up. I got you. What strategy would you say you were using at that point?
For in 2016 all the way to 2019, a lot of RA, just
Okay.
kind of going in stores, scanning stuff.
Were you looking for discounts and sales primarily?
I was looking for anything.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
kind of had the replen mindset, but I didn't know what replens was at the time. If I could buy
Sure.
something over and over, that would be great. I
Right.
don't care what it was, the price was, as long as I can
Yeah.
sell it on Amazon at a profit,
Gotcha. But
and it
were
would
you
sell.
primarily scanning barcodes, I take it?
Yep, yep, pretty much,
Okay.
yep.
That's
Scanning
a lot of
barcodes
people
and
confuse
images.
replens with that, and it's two different worlds, as you can attest to now,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Whole different strategy now. So in the end of, like I said, the middle of 2019, I thought the best way to do this Amazon business was to hire two virtual assistants, and that would be the magic pill. That would be the magic button to my wealth in Amazon. And I turned out to be the only thing it turned out to be is the best motivator to get my butt into gear and actually do something with this Amazon thing, because they were providing me leads on a regular basis for online arbitrage, because I kind of switched over then into doing everything online.
Okay.
And it was the greatest motivator because I had to do something with all these things, and I'm paying these guys. And it was the way I learned how to really source products correctly, because I was in the past just doing profit and maybe sales rank. And that was it. Now I was looking at sales history. I was looking at, drop counts and Keepa. I was looking at, sales velocity, a bunch of other things that helped me realize I was not sourcing correct with just the RA thing.
Yeah,
And
your sourcing skills using Keepa, and I'd say I've been using Keepa a long time, and my skills continue to sharpen and adapt, and there's new features and new factors that go into our decision. We get faster about making good decisions.
mhm,
Yeah, but it's a long journey, as you can attest to, and I love seeing students kind of attest to that journey from scanning barcodes, which I can teach you to do in 30 seconds.
mhm.
Scan the barcode. It's selling for $5 at the store. Oh, look, it's selling for 25 on Amazon. Well, let's buy a few. The rank looks decent. You can do that, but that is a hamster wheel of a business model, man. That's a treadmill model. And a lot of people think that's what we do here. And it's just not. There's so much more that goes into picking good inventory. So I love that that's part of your story because it's an testament that there's a reason we created all this content to dive deep into what Keepa can do for you. And it's
Yeah.
not something you can sit down and learn in half an hour. It's just not.
Yeah, no, and that's how I came into your organization actually, is that I started finding other ways of learning, and the PAC program was a great, starting point that I had most of the knowledge for, but I was really fine tuning the skills, got into some Keepa training, and then it kind of blew up. I realized I was doing things incorrectly. And now the VAs that I had, I got rid of. And I went to other sourcing methods, and then now brought the VA, well, not now, brought the VAs back when I could actually utilize their skills and start to outsource. one of the things that we do in our organization, our business is, I like to call it an organization. That's pretty funny. I think of
Yeah,
it as a
why
small
not, man?
business, but it's an organization now. I
It
mean,
is. Yeah.
I got 3 virtual assistants that work for me. My wife and I both do it now full time. Our other business, let me flash back a little bit. In 2020, when COVID hit, I told you in 2019 I got serious. So I was actually way more active. I was buying more products. I was putting inventory on a regular basis. And my wife and I had another business where we were practitioners of a movement therapy,
Right.
which we learned because we both have children with special needs ourselves from previous marriages. And we were utilizing this therapy or this treatment for our kids, and it was very successful. So much so that we decided to learn the work ourselves, and we turned
Yeah,
it
that's cool.
into a practice that we were doing around different countries and all throughout the states. And it was a traveling business that we had. It was very successful and working very well, again, until 2020 hit.
When travel stopped or became much more difficult.
Exactly.
Do you mind telling me a
Everything.
little bit more? I'm just curious. We've had I call it 1.5 special needs kids around here. One of them you'd never even know, and he's overcome
uh,
so much, and another one with some challenges that people can pretty easily recognize. But who do you treat? How do you treat them? Without divulging, without diverting too far into that territory. It's just a
sure.
topic I think of interest to a lot of folks, myself included.
I can give you the name of the founder that started it. It's called the Anat Baniel method. ANATBANIEL method.com. You can go check it out. But it's all revolved around helping the brain learn instead of just physical therapy or occupational therapy, where it's more physically based. We're trying to utilize what the brain already has, which is brain plasticity. So our kids were learning because of the small movements we were doing with our kiddos, and they were learning how to physically be better, cognitively, improve, and overall emotionally be better too. So I can give you all the results with our kids, but we've had some great results around the world for the kids that we've worked with, especially our own too. So
Oh, that's fascinating. So now that the world has drifted slightly back to normal, are you guys
yeah,
getting back into that, or is
you know,
e-commerce now
it's
kind of taken over?
It's funny, our Amazon business is doing so well that it's kind of replaced all of that, but we're getting requests from our families that we've worked with because we became really close with them. I
Of
mean,
course.
we are parents of children with special needs. You
Yeah.
connect with people that are
Yeah.
having the
As
same
have we.
challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're contacting us, and we're kinda contemplating doing some of that again because it was a very fulfilling work, you know? It's a
Yeah.
very, heartfelt work.
Well, is it anything that you've ever considered, or maybe you did this? 'Cause it sounds like you had to travel to do the therapy, but is there anything you could teach people virtually to do and kind of become a thought leader in that space? Have you considered that? Or not to divert too far off the beaten path here, but I
Yep.
love that kind of thing. I have plenty of clients we do that type of stuff with, turn them into
Mhm.
thought leaders and influencers in their core competency.
Yeah, there is a whole program with the owner of the company that she has to train trainers. And
Gotcha.
then you go through that part of it, and then, yeah, you can start to train others to do the same thing.
Yeah, I love that kind of thing as well. So
Mhm.
that's so great. The opportunities for multiple income streams, right? The flexibility of lifestyle. But
Yep,
it sounds like
definitely.
possibly a lot of what motivated you as well. I mean, it was for me. Just, my wife and I knew we wanted to have a larger family. We knew we wanted to homeschool. Throw in 1.5 homeschool need kind of, special challenges there. And we're like, I need to be around. I need
Yep.
to be home. What are my options to make decent money and be home? That's what started us down the e-commerce path. Would you say that was kind of part of your
Yeah,
thought process there?
100%.
Yeah,
100% because I had a job where I was able to work from home, so I already had the bug from that prior
yeah,
to the kids.
mhm,
Then we had the kids, and then we found doctor's appointments, therapies,
right.
all the stuff that we had to do, plus being in the hospital, I don't know how many times.
Yeah,
My kiddos were preemies, they were
yeah.
28 weekers,
Wow,
so we had some challenges at
28.
the beginning. Yep. So, and I had twins,
Yeah,
and yeah, so it was fun times back then. So yeah, I couldn't think of going into a job like a
yeah.
9 to 5 or and doing the typical things. So
You can probably relate to this, Ed. We've had people ask our family over the years, like, "How do you guys do that, man? Like, run a business and homeschool?" And, like, that just sounds like so much. I'm like, "No, I don't know how other people do it." Getting up at 5 in the morning, getting your
Yep.
kids ready for the bus, going in different directions, coming home tired at night, like, that to me is fascinating. How do you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't with the family we had, that would not have been possible, man. You throw in a
Right.
few health challenges, a few special need curveballs with appointments, and
Mhm.
you're just like, it would be impossible. And
Yeah.
the money needed to make it all happen, it's like, thank God for the e-commerce opportunity. That's my reality for 22 years at this point. Like,
Yeah. I
the
mean,
other reality scares me. This one is very comfortable. I'm very confident with this one. Yeah.
the whole reason why we do this is because of the flexibility we have.
Mhm.
Because I can't well, first of all, I don't think I could be unemployable anymore because I've
Yeah, I
worked at
call
home for
myself
so long.
certifiably unemployable.
Exactly. So, I think that it would be tough to go get a job. I wouldn't even know how to write a resume anymore. It's all probably online now,
Do they
but
even still do that? I don't even know.
I don't even
I have
know.
no idea.
Probably just hook up with some service or something, but
Who knows, man?
yeah, so I'm very accustomed to this kind of lifestyle
Mhm.
now, and, yeah, that was the motivator. We gotta make it work. We gotta
Yeah,
make it work for our family, we gotta make it work for us, and that changed again in 2020 because of COVID. Our other income was pretty much gone. So, Amazon became way, way more important, to the point of really going into online arbitrage heavy. And that's what also too with our kids, we've outsourced a lot of their caregiving and therapies and all that kind of stuff. So it was an easy transition for me to start outsourcing some of the day-to-day tasks with our Amazon business. And we've had to train our caregivers to do what we need them to do. So it kind of went right into training virtual assistants to do what I needed them to do. So been very fortunate with the people that I do have, but I have gone through some employees
sure.
and I've had some training, challenges, but it's worked out. We have one VA now that's been with me for 3 years, another one that's almost on 2 years, and another one that's about two and a half now, I think. So, yeah, I love them like family. I wish I can go give them big hugs because they run a lot of our business and we've outsourced a lot of it. So
Philippines?
Filipinos, yep,
Mhm.
yep. I've tried, one other company one time and just didn't work out, but yeah, the Filipinos got a great, work ethic and
Yeah,
they pick up stuff. The ones I got anyway, they
yeah.
pick up stuff
Well,
quick, so
just as a general rule, not to generalize, but, just as a general rule, the safest bet as far as a pool of talent continues to be the Philippines, in our opinion, as well. There's Pakistan, there's other countries, there's Vietnamese, there's lots of places where the US dollar goes really far, and there's people willing to work really hard online to help you grow your business. But in the
mhm,
Philippines, just culturally, there's the odds of finding a good one are higher. Just, after having seen thousands of people hire tens of thousands of VAs, that's still where the low hanging fruit opportunities are for finding real talent that, like you said, you fall in love with them. They become like family.
yeah,
They're working hard while you're sleeping and you wake up to the fruits of their labor every day. It's just a beautiful thing to watch unfold. Yeah, without diving too far in that direction, we've had other podcast episodes about that. People can go back in time and get in our
mm,
Facebook group and talk more about that subject if they'd like. We certainly cover it. There's a course inside the Proven Amazon course that talks about how to hire a VA as well. So if that's something you're interested in, but I love that's how you've grown your business. Well, let's keep diving into your business, man. Go wherever you'd like to go. You're doing great. I'm loving every aspect of this. There's 100 directions we could go from here.
yeah. So when we got real serious and the other business was tanking or
Sure.
going away completely because of COVID,
Travel. Yeah.
that's when things even changed way more because my wife, who is really powerful, she came into the business and just created some systems and some organization that this brain doesn't know how to accomplish. I'm a good pink finger pointer, but she's a great utilizer. You'll probably never see her on the camera. She's not one of those kind of people, but you saw her live. We had the couple of events that we were at, but she loves doing the behind the scenes work and she does fantastic at it. And that's when our business really took off. You know, we can talk about numbers in a bit, but just from where we started, the first 3.5 years, barely even, again, a hobby to where we really made it a serious business after the first year. the first real year, and then the second year it doubled, and now, we're gonna see what we can do as we go forward. We got some lofty goals, and
Yeah,
we're
that's
we're we're
beautiful.
incorporating different other, income sources as well with the Amazon opportunity,
And
so
it's fascinating to me too, Ed, just as a little side. I'm always making these observations. I'm kind of, I've been putting this puzzle together in my mind for a couple decades now.
Mhm.
This is new territory. This is the wild west of business. Historically, e-commerce is only 20, 25 years old, as a concept like, hey, you could actually make a living from home doing this. Like that's nothing on the grand scale of history where most business models have lasted for, centuries.
Mhm,
Here's
mhm.
this little 25-year-old concept that's that is a biggest paradigm shift, arguably, in business history. But something that's emerging that's becoming clear to me all the time. I used to be of the mind that if you're smart and motivated, you can kind of do this yourself. I dropped that kind of thinking, and I'm getting more and more inclined that if you don't have a partner, ideally it's a spouse that balances you, and they don't have to be intimately involved in the day to day, but they've got to be involved in supporting role. You can't do this alone. So
Yeah,
you
no
just
way.
said, I love how God places together sometimes opposites. She's got the mechanical, fine being behind the scenes, engineering type brain. And you're more the like, hey, you do this, delegator kind of, and
Mhm.
dreamer type almost, right? And like those two just fit together so nicely. And you guys didn't know that when you got married, but it's
Nope.
like, whoa, look at this. we we synergize beautifully. And the businesses that last, I'm just noticing over and over and over, either through connections, mastermind groups, growing their own team, a spouse. You can't do it yourself. You're missing out on so much. The synergy effect is the cleanest way I could describe it. 1 + 1 = 5. It's just how it happens. It's the miracle of God, but it happens so much in this
Yeah,
business
you g
of,
you
and I
gotta
love
lean
that you
into the
pointed that
community.
out.
You gotta lean into the community, because when I didn't have her at the beginning, I was leaning into the community for sure, because I couldn't do it alone. I needed to bounce things off of somebody. I needed questions answered. I needed to celebrate the little achievements, right? And then when I brought her in, or when she came into it, by the way, I gotta clarify, I'm not the finger pointer of her, okay?
Oh, of course not. No
She
wise
does a
man
great job
is with
making
his
me
husband,
think
with
I'm
his
the
wife.
boss. When she sees this, she'll be like, "What's this finger pointing thing?" Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, we all know how that plays out. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah, it's a fantastic relationship that we have. We are constantly bouncing things off of each other. We go out to dinner, and it inevitably happens that we're talking about some business stuff. So, I mean, it's become a part of our life, and we know that we got to make this work, because this is what the we love to do. We love to be around our kids. We love to raise them. We love to be able to take them to the therapist, the doctors, whatever we need to do at any given moment. We love creating our own schedule. We love
Mhm.
sleeping in, Jim.
I
I'm
do too.
sorry.
I do too.
Sometimes,
What
but
time zone are you in?
we're in Arizona, so
Okay.
currently the Pacific time.
Mountain.
It changes
Pacific
from
currently?
yeah.
Yeah, because we tell people all the time we live on Pacific time. I'm on the East time zone.
Okay.
And people are like, you guys have such a weird schedule. Like, describe it to me. Like, basically, we're on Pacific time, right?
Mhm.
Where everyone else is getting up at 5, 6 in the morning. We're getting up at 9, 10 in the morning.
Yep,
Everyone else is going to bed at 8 or 9 or 10. We're going to bed at 10, 11 midnight. It's just
exactly.
like we live on Pacific time. We eat at restaurants after everybody else has already cleared out. We go to the zoo after all the field trips have already cleared out for the day.
Nice.
It's just like we live on a completely different schedule because we can. I
Mhm.
say the only thing that our alarm clock is set that's the same every week is being at church on time for second service. Other than that, man, it's just like flexible schedule. And yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of if I need more sleep, I'm going to get more sleep the next day. I leave my mornings open for that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, no doubt about it, we work our tails off, right? It's
100%. Yes.
around our own schedule, right?
That's
If we
right.
got something important, church, like you said, that's number one. Whatever else for the kids, that's priority. But then, we can figure out when we can put the work in. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't sporadically work, I will say that, but
Right.
I do work
I
hard.
call it disciplined distractibility is a phrase I came up with a long time ago,
Okay?
meaning if nothing distracts me today, I got a lot to do and I'm
Yeah.
going to hit it hard. But if the phone rings in the middle of a podcast and it's something that my wife needs from me, I reschedule my time with Ed and we record this episode later. None of it is stuff that must be done today. None of it is urgent and important
Mhm.
because I've scheduled my life with enough flexibility. I'm doing important work all the time, but I don't allow it to get to the point where it has to be done today.
Mhm.
Never. So then I've got complete flexibility in my schedule, right? I think that's what we're describing. And that's
Yeah.
the phrase I came up with a while back. It's like, discipline to distractibility, meaning I'm not so nose to the grindstone that I miss the opportunities flying right over my head. Or the the opportunities to spend a great day with my family because it's beautiful outside, or the opportunities to hop on the phone for an hour with someone who's got a great wholesale deal from the community and they're desperate to find a partner to work with, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like you got to have those windows that you can open anytime and let opportunity in, and it's just such a blessing to contrast this to it's been over 20 years, but the old corporate lifestyle, be here
Mhm.
by 9 a.m. You can't leave till 5, even if there's no work to do and nothing meaningful happens that day. You must be in this office. Like, oh,
Yeah. Yep. I've
soul
done it.
sucking.
I've done it. I used to take a train for an hour when I used to live in Chicago. I would go from the suburbs to Chicago, an hour in the winter,
Mhm.
never again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll take this lifestyle a whole lot better.
And speaking of long train rides, for some reason I'm in the mood to bounce around a little bit today. We'll get back to the numbers and your story, what you're selling, how you find it, all that good Amazon content in a minute. But I'm reminded of a virtual assistant I heard describing their reality before they were hired by someone in our community. They had a 3+ hour commute to
Wow.
a job where they earned $2 per hour,
Wow.
and then a 3+ hour commute home in the evenings with a family.
Hmm.
And someone in our community hired them for 4 or $5 an hour, doubled plus some their
Mhm.
income. And the money goes so far for those who aren't aware. In the Philippines, the US dollar, you got to multiply it by like 8 to figure out your numbers. So he went from earning like 15, $16 an hour to earning $40 an hour, getting to work from home, sleep in, work a flexible schedule, right? Like we have a big impact on the people that we are able to bring into our business because of the kind of
Yeah.
work that we do and the global aspect of it. I love that. Yeah. So put your hour commute to shame, man. I was like, and there was
And,
like a bike ride and a bus and then a train or something. It was
yeah.
nuts what this guy
Yeah.
had to do
Wow.
to go to a $2 an hour job.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the lifestyle that we're giving our employees. I can tell you one of our employees, he is able to be home with his kiddo as he's raising him, where he was a nurse and he would have to be gone from the house all day.
Yeah.
Especially during the COVID times, that was a bad place to be. So
Mhm.
he's got an opportunity to make good money and be at home with his kiddo and, raise his family. So it's
Yeah.
I really take that to heart because when we can flash back a little bit of last year when Amazon was challenging us with some things, and we almost had to let them go, but I kept them employed even though they couldn't do some of the tasks that I normally have them do. And I think that was probably the best thing I could do for them and for us because they have loyalty to us now. So
Yeah. They
um,
understand the mission, the vision, and purpose of what you're building, and
yeah,
they love, trust, and respect you guys. Yeah, and that's I just love business owners, entrepreneurs. One of the most grating things I ever hear asked of entrepreneurs and people who succeed is, "Hey, how are you going to give back?" That tells me the person asking that question has absolutely no idea what goes into building a successful business. You are giving generously, taking massive risks all day, every day.
yep.
Right? At the point you succeed, everyone notices and like, "Oh, how are you going to give back?" It's like, you don't know. I've been given every day, all day, and the
Mhm,
rewards are starting to show. And
mhm.
how I spend my money is none of your business. But I've yet to meet a successful entrepreneur who isn't ridiculously generous because that's how you grow relationships. That's how you expand your network. That's how you feel like, okay, there's a purpose bigger than me behind all of this. That's the kind of people that win in business. There's
Mhm,
occasional exceptions, but the vast majority of successful people I've ever met are just givers constantly and expanding the network of people and taking care of the people, giving the opportunity, taking care of the good people that help them build what they've built.
mhm.
That's how you succeed. Yeah, I love this topic, man. Well done. I love that you held on to those folks while you were going through a rough window of time. Maybe we can dive into that as a little bit as well, because Amazon's not all sunshine and rainbows and happy, happy every day. There's always a little something to fight. There's always a
Yep.
battle, right? You've got to be pivoting constantly. We never represented as anything but that. but we've sure got a lot of people who are doing really well with it, you
Uh,
included. So let's dive maybe in that direction a little bit. Tell us a little bit more
yeah,
about your business. What are you selling? What are you sourcing? Give us some numbers.
yeah. Well, we do all, I would say 99% online arbitrage right now.
Okay,
And just recently we got into branded bundles, and I even decided to do some of the influencer program as well. So
cool.
I'm kind of diversifying this year because we've done online arbitrage for the whole time that I've been
Right.
doing it. Well, since 2019
Sure.
up until today. And it's the best way that I found that I can outsource some of this stuff and get my time back. Using online arbitrage has allowed us to not have to do some of the sourcing stuff, some of the purchasing stuff, some of the day-to-day stuff that has to happen, admin stuff, just even email stuff. I have all that stuff outsourced. So we have probably 80% of everything that we do throughout the day is outsourced. I don't think I've even sourced a product in 2+ years myself.
That's
So
tremendous. I
now I'm
love it.
good at it. I
Yeah.
definitely know how to read the charts and everything, and I know
Mhm.
all the latest and greatest tools.
You got to
Uh,
stay sharp there.
yep.
So I'm
But
guessing one of the roles on that little 20% piece of the pie that you still control is staying sharp on new strategies,
yeah,
educating yourself and saying,
educate.
okay, team, I found something. I want you to start looking for ASINs that look like this here, and
Exactly.
you train them, right? Is that would you say the bulk of that 20% you hold on to?
Yeah, or learning new sourcing skills to
Hmm.
eventually pass that on to them.
Yep.
You introduced the bot sourcing last year, I think it was, and
Right.
we're have
Proven
them.
bot sourcing. It's in the proven Amazon course now. You went through that. That's right.
Yep, yep, did that, and we've done several Keepa courses so that we learn not just the basic chart reading, but how to use the product finder. We're constantly
Hmm.
listening to Brian and Robin, talk about Keepa.
Hmm.
So, we're implementing these things one at a time because I'm still staying in tune with what the latest and greatest, sourcing methods are. So that keeps them always on their toes too. I don't want them
Yeah.
getting complacent.
You said, I love the 80-20% thing that you shared. I don't want to drift too far away, or I'm afraid I'll forget. What else is in that 20% piece of the pie that you feel like you still,
Well, if we can figure out how to get rid of returns, and I know what you might say, but we've tried some,
the
outsourcing of
services?
that.
Yeah.
It's pricey, but
Sure.
that's still one thing we still have.
Yeah. So you're
Just
still
recently,
listing and flipping them on eBay yourself then, you're saying?
yes, yes,
Gotcha.
yeah. Yeah, we're doing that. One other thing that we did have outsourced was accounting, all the number stuff, the bookkeeping. My wife took that back on just recently because it was just costing a bunch of money, and I think we could do that ourselves very easily. So, and she's a good number cruncher and bookkeeper, which we didn't even know, but now she does, and she
She
does great
figured
at
it
it.
out.
Yep,
That's
yep.
great.
So we
Wow,
took
what
that
an
kind of
asset.
stuff back, which
Mhm.
is not a day to day thing, but
Sure.
it's a weekly thing. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, we'll get back to the show in just a moment, but I want to tell you about a way to save a nice chunk of change on all your online shopping and in store shopping by using discounted gift cards. We've got a new sponsor on the program with a free report they want to give you, no strings attached. Go to silentjimdotcom slash gift cards. That's silentjim.com slash gift cards, one word. It's in the show notes as well, that link. What they do is they put together a report that shows you all the places you can go to get great discounted gift cards. And they also offer the service themselves, selling gift cards to many online sellers, our community included. So it's a pleasure to bring them on board as a sponsor. Again, the link one more time, silentjim.com slash gift cards for that free special report. Let's get back to the show.
So we
Wow,
took
what
that
an
kind of
asset.
stuff back, which
Mhm.
it's not a day-to-day thing, but
Sure.
it's a weekly thing. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Because I'm fond of saying that this business is such that, when I start talking about multiple income streams, which has been a theme for me for a couple decades, one of the mantras is, if it's something that someone else could be doing, give it to them. Right? Only
mhm,
do the things that only you can do.
mhm,
And where you bump up against the edges of that is where it makes a whole lot more economic sense for me to do it right now than anyone else. Like you
mhm,
mentioned, the returns. It's like, yeah, we could give that to someone else, but we're making $100 a month instead of making 3,000 a month. Like, I think I'm going to keep that till I figure out how to hand that to someone else and still make some good money, right? Bookkeeping. We're paying a lot, but then you get the maybe a VA trained, right? Someone, if you can train someone $4 or $5 an hour to do these different parts, and even like with the eBay listings, it could be reduced down to you just taking a picture. They
Mhm.
set up the listing, right? They do the whatever the grunt work is, you can get someone else doing it. So you're left with a pretty small list of things that you have to do. And I know you know these things. I'm more talking to the listener today, but
Mhm.
uh, that's how you grow multiple income streams. That's what giving you the time. You mentioned you're getting to the influencer course, provenAZinfluencer.com, creating
Mhm.
videos, throwing them out there, getting paid by Amazon to make videos talking about products. Like, you've got the time to do that now. Is the point I'm making,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. If I didn't outsource all this stuff, I wouldn't have the time to do some of these other things. So it's I look at our online arbitrage business as a time. All the outsourcing we do, I look at it as bringing our time back to us.
Mhm.
So if I can take some task, train somebody on it, and do that over and over, I mean, they probably do. My three VAs probably do well, I told you they do 80% of everything in our online arbitrage business. And I would give them more if I could, if I had some things that didn't have to physically be touched
Right.
in home. So, yeah, I mean, we use a prep center as well. So we're outsourcing all the shipping stuff as much as we can. But I do have some of that here too. Certain things that can't be set to a prep center. But
Hmm.
yeah, we try
What's on
to
that list that can't be sent? I'm curious, just to hopefully learn something or teach something.
certain brands that we've tried ordering and having them sent to the prep center, and the prep center is a industrial location, so they won't allow us to send stuff
They want to
there.
send to residential only.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Um,
That makes total
and it
sense.
kind of lets them know that we're not a end user or personal purchase. This is a
Yeah.
I'm buying 10 of these or 20 of these. They know
Yeah.
we're resellers there. So we just gotta watch out what stuff we send to the prep center. We've had
Sure.
a couple brands that have, eliminated us from sending there because we were sending it to a business address. So
Right. That makes total sense. Yeah. I'm always
Mhm.
curious to see where those lines are. People who use a prep center but still hold on to some of it. What are you holding on to? A lot of times they'll hold on to the heavier stuff too, and
Mhm.
ship it merchant fulfill, for example. Uh,
Correct. Yeah.
there's
Yep.
a guy in our community that does like anything that weighs over X number of pounds. He just takes it to his own house and waits for it to sell merchant fulfill, rather than
Mhm.
putting it through a prep center,
Yep.
or risking Amazon losing a unit, or because
Right.
pricier
Damaging.
stuff. Sometimes you'll see them do that too. I want to keep it under their control. Yeah, good
Mhm.
line in the sand. All right. Well, tell us more. Yeah, how are you sourcing your ASINs? What are you selling primarily category wise? Take us into your business a little bit.
So I think most of our business is beauty and healthcare type stuff. I know we do everything though: tools, toys, geez, clothing, shoes.
Doing some clothing, shoes. Teach me
Yep,
about shoes. How much shoes have you done?
we do a lot of shoes.
Okay, we
Yeah,
haven't done much shoes. And
yep.
correct me if I'm wrong. Just here's a couple of general rules I've heard, but educate me, okay? Because I know some serious shoe sellers, and these are some conclusions I've heard from them. I don't do much shoes. I did a long time ago, but we don't much now. Like women's shoes, far more returns than men's.
Mhm.
And the sizes, you went with like the average sizes. Do you play with the average, or do you get off under the long tail sizes, like size 14 men's and stuff?
We look at the variations and what's producing, what's actually got some sales velocity based on ratings and reviews and that. And if we see that it has got a chance, then we're gonna
Just
buy it
like
up.
any other ASIN.
Yeah, yeah, just like any other
You're
ASIN.
reading the keep it chart like it was any other widget.
I'm not reading the keep it chart like I would a singular product because
Of
I
course,
can't
it's a
really rely
variation.
on the ranking, the
Sure.
sales rank. But we look at sales velocity by maybe the seller counts alternating, the buy boxes kind of jumping up and down. That shows us that there's some kind of activity on that thing. If I just see flat lines on the buy box and the seller count, then I know it's not really doing much.
That's dead. Yeah.
And then, of course, the ratings and the reviews on that specific ASIN, those tell me a little bit when they're not grouped together all in one. But if
Mhm.
they're separated, for the rating for that ASIN has got some, ratings and reviews, then I know in order to get one review, you got to have a bunch of purchases,
That's
right?
100 sales typically is what we generally
Exactly.
say.
So I know that if we got, 100 reviews, that thing's got some
It's
velocity of
smoking.
some sort. I
Yeah.
don't know how many, but we test, right? We'll send in a few of them and test it and then go from there.
Any
So,
particular brands that you're most excited about, or is this
well,
general?
we're big Nike guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Just like many others, where
Yeah.
Nike
What
has been.
percentage of your business would you say overall is Nike? Since you said you're heavy in shoes, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I would say maybe 20 to 30%. It's
Wow,
not.
okay, that's a bigger piece than I was expecting.
It's a pretty good chunk. I didn't think it was that huge, but
So that's why you got the returns. Now I'm connecting the dots.
yeah,
Yeah, those shoe sellers, man, they got their death pile of shoes. You always got some good shoes laying around though when it's time for a new pair, don't you?
yeah, yeah. My wife's got a couple new pairs every time.
That's right. Like, hey, that just happens to be my size. And look, it didn't sell. Darn.
The size 14, not so much, but
Right, right. Sure.
but
That's
yeah,
cool.
surprisingly, the shoes hasn't been terrible. It does have its returns, but most of them get put back right back into stock. So
Sure.
it's the ones that come back. They've been used for 3 months, and we're like, okay, really?
Yeah. Seriously,
But
people. Yeah, we're not Zappos, okay?
exactly, exactly. So yeah, but so we built our business all OA, and we've utilized VAs. I had up to 5 VAs at one point, and I think I told you a little bit about this, but we got complacent. We did we did 230,000 in our first year in sales, and our first real year, I call it, back in 2020.
2020 was your first real year after your wife
First real
challenged
year.
you, like, is this a hobby or is it, you're
Yeah,
like, all
yeah,
right, no longer a hobby.
exactly. So and prior to that, I think the best year we had was like 20 to 30,000.
Oh,
Those three
huge
years,
10x jump.
oh, yeah, just stupid. It was, N it was like, why didn't I start this back in 2016 when
She
I
needs to write
really.
a motivational book, How to 10x Your Husband with One Simple
Yeah,
Question.
exactly. She continues to do that, trust me. So the first year we got serious, I did that, and I was pretty much, doing a lot of it myself. She had just started helping me organize stuff. Then the second year, she got like we were doing it, she had her skill set and I had mine, and we were jamming it. We did 460 the second year. So we
Nice. Double.
doubled our business.
That's
And
awesome.
and then I got complacent. I had VAs doing a lot of
Five
work. I
years.
thought that was just going to continue to grow. I thought I'd hire more VAs. This is the business learning lessons, right? I did some things that probably weren't the best choices. But we did start sourcing better quality products, higher dollar items. And we did 430 the third year, our third real year in business. But I think we made more profit because of the choices that we were making in the products that we were buying. So, but I got complacent in the growth. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this thing's just going to keep growing, right? We just keep doing the same thing. Well, no, I had to still stay educated on new sourcing methods. And, the environment changed a little bit. Of course, Amazon always throws something at us. So so that takes us to this year, right? Yeah, because I don't think.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, no,
2023.
that last year. So last year we got back into action, and actually it wasn't until like mid last year where I was like, all right, I got to get back into action. And it was good because it was last year February I came over to Jim Cockrum's group, your group, and I wanted to get some coaching. I'll tell you this story if I haven't told you yet. But I wanted to come and get some coaching, and your coach Matt Thompson, the admin guy or the manager, what's his title? I don't know.
Director. Yeah.
Director. Sorry,
Yeah.
Matt.
No worries.
He said, "Yeah, you're going to be a coach. Based on what you're saying, you're going to be a coach." I'm like, okay, I guess I'll come over that way. So it's been the greatest thing because I was already coaching in the organization I was at. I was coaching new sellers, and that's kind of what I do now. So it's been a great. I really didn't want to lose that, but I wanted to come over to a group where I was going to get some motivation. I was going to get some inspiration, and that's what your group has always done. I've always listened to your podcast, but I never could kind of dip my toe into any of the extra stuff. So it's worked out great. Since February last year, we were with you guys, doing the coaching and really getting motivated again. So really got back into massive action at the middle of the year. And then Section 3 hit in the end of the year, the Q4 thing, debacle shut us down for a little bit.
A lot of people selling, for it was, what's the category? Makeup and
Yep,
cosmetics.
yep.
Yeah, got
Ours
hit
was
particularly hard, and pretty much, anyone who was doing bulk cosmetics,
mhm,
Amazon challenged them, and some of them were done with it in a day or 2, and others it took a couple months,
mhm.
right? We heard a
Yeah, ours
lot of
took
those
6
stories.
weeks.
Yeah. Did you
6
lose
weeks.
any of your good ASINs as a result of that?
No, actually, we only made one mistake on one item. It was listed as a brand dash brand, so like name dash name, and it's
Mm.
the real brand is all just one word,
That
and
little
it was
dash through you on
exact.
most people learn to recognize the word generic, but if the brand is misspelled or misrepresented in any way, that can be an
Yeah.
ASIN that's doomed as well, right? As we've learned over the
So
years. Yeah, that's
so
why
my
getting
B.
training and not just flying by instinct is so important with this business model. Yeah.
Mhm.
But so how long did that keep you guys down? It was an extended
6 weeks.
suspension.
6 weeks.
6 weeks?
It hit us. Thankfully, it hit us October 30th because we had most of our Q4 stuff in. So
Okay.
as an Amazon seller, I've learned start August, September, get that stuff in through October. We're hitting it heavy, and we were going to continue all the way through November. But then October 30th, they pretty much said no more sending stuff in, and they weren't paying us, so
Mhm.
we had to wait till we got everything fixed up. Took us
Right.
6 weeks, and we still did 510, just over 510 for the year.
Beautiful. 510
So
in 2023 in spite of 6-week
instead, yeah,
pause.
at Q4, yeah, uh,
During Q4. Thank
yeah,
you,
good
Amazon.
time.
Yeah. Well, that's when it seems like every year, politics has its November surprise. Amazon has its October, November surprise. It's just like,
Mhm.
hmm. I think in politics is the October. Yeah, because the elections are in November. So kind of like with Amazon and politics, October, they're going to surprise you with something.
Yep.
And the industry's going to go, oh no, what just happened? And then it's all going to be okay. I mean, I've seen it like 9 years in a row now.
Yep.
One year it was no new sellers are allowed to sign up.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, oh no, I was just getting ready to get started. I guess I can
Wow.
never sell on Amazon now. They don't want sellers. They're trying to get rid of us. They're trying to kill us all, right? Like, those are the rumors. And like, no, they were just really busy and understaffed. And now
Mhm.
they're ramping back up again. So every year it's kind of one of the, you never know what the story's going to be, but something's going to send this ripple wave of nervous energy through the seller community. And then it's all going to be fine,
It's
month or two
alright. It
later.
it weeds out the weak, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Yeah.
gotta be a warrior, right?
That's that's one of the many reasons why I refer to e-commerce business builders as warriors, business
Yep.
building warriors. Open up every podcast episode with that phrase. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's true in anything worth having in life. It's not unique to being an Amazon seller. It's
Exactly.
anything worth having in life. Blood, sweat, tears, risk, work, sacrifice required.
Yep.
Right? No exceptions here. There's no easy button. But
Mhm.
yeah, well done, man. I love your attitude that you came through it. You're not bitter and shaking your fist at the sky. It's like, hey, these things happen. We pivoted and we sent Amazon what they needed. And as with 99% of everyone else, back in action. We do leave ourselves scratching our heads sometimes when Amazon does these things, but with persistence, I've seen literally everyone who's faced these kind of issues come back, unless they were doing something so ridiculously illegal that state laws had to get involved.
Right.
It's like, wait, you're selling counterfeit on purpose? You're buying crates of Nike from China? What? Wait, what are you doing?
Mm.
Yeah, uh,
Well, and part of my education is, you have Jeff Schick that comes on your podcast often.
exactly. Yeah.
He just gives little golden nuggets every once in a while to keep an eye on for
Recorded
us.
3 more with him last week. We're going to be
Perfect.
dropping out here. Yeah, such good stuff because he sees what sellers are facing and talks
Yeah.
through those policy and legal challenges. Yeah, some good stuff coming. But yeah, thanks for giving me a shout out. Great sponsor of this show too. We'll stick a link in the show notes to Jeff. Write
Mhm.
myself a note to remind, because I'd say the vast majority of leaders in our community on our content creation team, coaches, et cetera, we're using Jeff's services.
Mhm.
Yeah. But well, we didn't hit you. So you gave us some great numbers. You gave us 230, 460, 510, but you haven't talked margins yet. And this is your primary income now, is it not? Or do you still have a full-time other side
We
job?
did have another income source, but this is becoming our primary income. Yes.
Gotcha.
So
Besides the therapy treatment.
Yes, yes,
Right.
we did.
Okay.
So if you want to talk margins, we're typical OA sellers, anywhere from 8, 9, 10%. I think I just looked at my numbers for this month. We're like 10.33, so right on track
Yep.
for the norm. So yeah, we we enjoy that. We'll enjoy
Yeah.
that. That's better than an investment in
Yeah.
some
Oh,
cases.
absolutely. Yeah. That's a great business with a lot of other benefits as well that go into it. Like, do you guys use points on your inventory purchases by any
Oh
chance?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Becoming a little. I heard of another guy that was at the last conference I was at, but I'm becoming a little travel hacker. Figuring out the points game and stuff. So yeah,
Hmm.
I enjoy that. That's going to be a kind of a nice little. I think it's just maximizing what you're getting from Amazon. We're
Yeah.
buying all this product. We're getting all these points on credit cards. Now we're going to figure out how to use them wisely and
There's people in our community with millions of points. They can
yeah.
literally go anywhere, anytime for free, stay in nice hotels, fly on the best private jets, or not private jets, best first class seats. They
Yep.
can just go anywhere, anytime, stay anywhere, and just never burn through their points. I was
Hmm.
talking to one guy at a recent meetup, and he just anytime someone on his team gets married, he sends them wherever they want to go on their honeymoon and pays
Oh,
for it
nice.
with points.
That's awesome.
It's one of the sellers in our community because you start buying a lot of inventory. That's a lot of credit card points that are stacking up quick. $500,000 in inventory. Yeah, there's a lot of points in there. I know we
Yep.
got a lot of Dave Ramsey fans. Oh, never use credit cards. It's like, hey, I'll take all that 2 to 5% of free money back all day, every day, man.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, for sure. And all the
It's
benefits of
using it wisely. You
yeah,
can't be stupid with it. You got to use it wisely. And that
that's
we've
right.
done a great. We have like a system, just rotation, just utilizing somebody else's money and
Hmm.
rotating it, paying it off every month, and
Hmm.
doing the same thing, but watching those points go.
Yep.
So
Yep. You still get the points, even if you paid off the card on time. You still got the points, man.
exactly.
That's right. So free fuel and all kinds of discounts. Like every store we go to, I'm always getting some kind of bonus offers and such. Yeah, because we're buying a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
we also utilize what you guys have taught in many cases. Credit, not just credit cards, but rebates and
mhm,
coupon codes. We use all that stuff to maximize our every purchase.
yeah,
So
a lot of
yeah,
benefits.
yeah, because once you get the rebate points too, or the rebate dollars, I mean, you can buy Amazon gift cards, you can buy
Mhm,
other
mhm.
place gift cards. So
Discounted gift
yeah,
cards, even. Have you ever used those?
yep,
Yeah.
yep, those two.
Our arbitrage card, a great sponsor of our show. They'll be at our conference as well. Um, but yeah, what's that? I think it's silentjimdotcom/cards or gift cards, one of the two. Silentjim.com/gift cards, I think is the abbreviation. Great free book. It talks about that topic of making sure you're maxing out, because you buy Nikes. Well, if you
Mhm.
buy $1,000 worth of Nike gift cards, you can do it for like $900 or $950. You save yourself $50 of margin right there. You can get yourself
Right.
$1,000 for $950, basically, right? If
Hmm.
you're
Hmm.
buying the gift cards, the discounted gift cards. Yeah, lots of opportunity there. Have you done that with Nike specifically?
No, no,
No. You should
and
look
that
into
just
it. That's one of his
boom,
specialties, the arbitrage
boom,
card
another
game.
thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you can't buy like $100 at a time. I think you have to buy like $1,000 worth. But if you do, it's significant, 5, 10%.
Yep.
You spend $900 for $1,000 worth of gift cards then, and they're legit. The arbitrage card is very legit, very good reputation in our community. I know some of the big shoe sellers use him in bulk.
Okay.
Something to look into.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, what else? What else do you want to share from your story? You had a great bio, and we've covered a lot of great territory today. I think that we've encouraged a lot of folks, inspired some people to maybe take the next step on their business journey. And thank you for being a great coach on our team. How many students have you coached with us at this point,
I think I
approximately?
have I think I have around 20 to
Okay.
25. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause with 60 coaches, we're able to spread them out pretty good. And
Mhm.
and like we always say, if you come into our coaching program, you're going to be working with someone who's doing this business at a high level. You're not just getting a script reader or someone to help you go through a workbook that we printed 8 years ago. These are people doing it right now at scale, helping you through the journey. So you're just another great example of that. So I appreciate your contributions there. And that's the one part of my business as we've scaled. I have time to spend time with the leaders and the coaching group leaders, you mentioned Brian and Robin Joy Olson as an example, right? Like I spend more of my time with them, the actual coaches in many cases. Like I'm getting to know you today right along with a lot of people in the community. I mean, I knew the name, obviously, knew you've done some coaching with us, but you and I really, we haven't talked a whole lot over the years.
I think I've talked to you more when I met you personally
Yeah.
than anything like this. That's
Yes. Right. Exactly.
awesome.
Yeah. And those events are always such a blur, the
Mhm.
conference. Yeah. Are you coming to Orlando? I think you said you were.
Yep, that's the plan.
Yeah.
As long as we can make it work. We got a conflict, but we're trying to work it out. So,
Okay. Would love to see you there. And I think with the timing of this episode, you'll have some people looking for you in Orlando. For the listeners' sake, we're talking about the Proven Conference, May 23rd to 25th. The website is three words, theprovenconference.com. Go check it out. So, yeah, Ed, hoping to be there, but we'll have
mhm,
dozens of our coaches there. And we're about 600 and I checked this morning, we're about 640 people registered. So it's going to be a good size group, good event, 40 breakout sessions. Really looking forward to it. I hope you can make it. Hope that conflict works out, man, but certainly understand
I'm looking forward to
busy
it.
life. Well, I'd love to meet those kids. How old are they?
I have two 20-year-olds and a 18, almost 18-year-olds.
Well, they're not little kids anymore. Sounds like mine. I call them kids still, but they're married and
Oh
have
yeah,
kids. And
My boy will always be my kid.
yeah,
You
exactly.
my little kid.
Yep. Hmm. Well, anything else on your mind that we didn't cover today? I always like to make sure that the guest has a chance. If there's anything else that they were hoping to cover, that we give them the opportunity at the end of the episode.
Well, I just think that it's a great opportunity, and I wish I would have. I guess I'll tell this to anybody that's just looking at it because I wish I would have started, consistency right off the bat. And if you do anything consistent for a little while, something's going to come out of it. Either you're going to learn for sure this is not for you, or you're going to learn for sure this is the right path. I need to get going on this thing. I played with it for 3.5 years, and I don't even know why I stuck around, quite honestly. I had every excuse to quit, and I probably made every excuse in my head to give it up and go do something else. But I just knew that there was something here, and now I'm finding out what that is as we go further here. I can totally see sky's the limit now, and this is after being 4 years into this thing of really doing it. So plenty of opportunity.
Yeah,
Just
I
do it.
completely agree. Yeah, good word. Yeah, the flexibility of it and the foundation that it lays are two of the best parts of this business. Sometimes people ask us, like, why do you talk about Amazon replens so much? Like, that's the default low-hanging fruit business opportunity of our time, in my opinion. If it was something else, we'd talk about that. I'm not saying
Mhm,
it's the only way to make money online. I'm saying it's the lowest risk, lowest learning curve, most established system that we have to offer where we say, hey, if you put in the work, odds are you're going to build something here. And there's no huge jumping off point where you have to take a huge risk and hope it works out later. It's a slow wade into opportunity. But once that foundation's laid and you start to experience the flexibility of e-commerce and online income, and you can tack other things onto it
mhm.
through relationships, other income streams, other opportunities. You guys do anything with Walmart, for example, yet? You played with it?
No, I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
just learned about some of that just recently, and I'm like, I mean, we've actually have an account set up with them. It's just like
Good.
that's another thing you can add on to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to do better than your eBay. I would venture to
Mhm.
say,
Oh
almost
yeah.
certainly. Yeah, Walmart, from my vantage point as a reseller, Walmart has passed up eBay pretty confidently. I can make that statement. They're number 2 now. Uh,
Okay.
so as a general rule, I mean, don't take this like as across all products, but as a general rule, if you're selling 10 a month on Amazon, you're going to sell 2 or 3 a month on Walmart. You're going to sell 1 a month on eBay.
Hmm.
It's that's kind of what we're noticing. So ignore Walmart at your own peril. And the way we're kind of stumbling into it as a community, we've got some great courses and content and tools coming is based on the stuff we've learned. But the stuff that comes back that for whatever reason we couldn't sell on Amazon, we're like, hey, let's throw it on Walmart and see what happens. And lo and behold, some of it takes off, and that particular product on Walmart surpasses what we were doing on Amazon. And suddenly, without trying, our Walmart numbers are getting really big. I've been sharing this story recently. My son comes home from our warehouse some days. He's like, Dad, I had to ship 50 things for Walmart today. Like, we got to
Wow.
build a better system. It's exploding. I'm like, all right, we'll figure that out. Because we haven't tried, but just that extra stuff laying around, like, all right, Try Walmart. Boom, there it goes.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're very excited. But that's just another example of the flexibility. Once you've got that foundation, the
Mhm.
flexible opportunities you have to add other income streams into this. And you talked about getting into branded bundles.
Mhm.
Brilliant idea. The podcast episode that dropped today is someone who sells about 100 units or so a day or more of their private label, their branded bundle that
Okay.
came through our community. So they didn't have to invent their own, new best selling product. They just bundled stuff that already existed together with their own branded item, and it's exploding and it's surpassing their replens business at this point.
Wow.
So you're in a position to do that, um, as are the listeners as well. But man, I love your tenacity. I love the relationship that you shared with us with your wife and how you guys have done this together. I think that's going to resonate with a lot of folks, and just appreciate having you on the team, Ed. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it too. Thank you.
Well, really looking forward to seeing you guys in Orlando. Make it happen if you can, buddy. But if not, I'm sure we'll talk again soon. But let me talk to the listeners for just a moment. For
Mhm.
those of you who maybe this was the first episode you're listening to our show today, I need to make sure that you realize we have hundreds of episodes like this where we interview the successful students from our community who have built great businesses using the strategies and ideas from the proven Amazon course. And if you want to hang out with us and see, I think we got about 2,000 testimonials at this point in our free Facebook group. There's a link at silentjim.com. Go check that out. Or if you want to get a free copy of the book that launched this community, it's been updated about a year ago. And it's the stories of people in this community, some ideas to get you started into e-commerce, what our best recommendations are, keeping you out of some dangerous territories. You can get that book completely free. silentjim.com/free 11 because it's version 11. So free 11, 2 digits. That'll get you a free copy of that book. And we'd love to help you understand a little bit more about what we're all about today. But on behalf of the whole community that puts this podcast episode together, there's a bunch of us that contribute. Our great guest today, Ed, one more time. Say thank you to your wife for us, would you, for loaning you to us for a little bit today.
Thank you,
Great to see you.
Carla.
Exactly. And come to Orlando, Carla.
Yes,
Love to
we're
see
going
you in
to
person.
Orlando.
Yes, the woman behind the man. There's always a great one, right?
Yes.
So, and the whole team that makes this thing happen, thanks for being a part of our community. God bless you, business building warrior. We'll have another great episode for you very soon. Talk to you then. Hey, before I let you go, one last reminder about an easy way to save money on every purchase you make online or in stores by using discounted gift cards. There's a free special report that's been set up by our latest sponsor, Arbitrage Card. You can get this report, tells you how to go find these great discounted cards. Go to silentjim.com/gift cards. That's silentjim.com/gift cards, all one word. The link is in the show notes as well. Go grab that report.